Have you ever thought, how much of my money will the government steal from me when I sell my business? I have the answer via my friend Nick. He helps business owners take a pile of cash when they sell their business and make it a much bigger pile of cash. And for those that don't sell their business and they take distributions, he takes those distributions and he makes that business owner wealthy purely on distributions, not even counting their business. He's the perfect guy to answer this question. How much will the government take? And how much might they take based on the state you live in and the type of entity you own? Let's hear his answer. All right, the scenario is I've got a $10 million business. It's worth $10 million. I'm about to sell it. What am I going to pay in tax?
Okay, so a $10 million business sale, and look, those are the situations that we typically work with, owners that have a business valued greater than $10 million. And so you live here in the beautiful state of Texas. And so a $10 million business sale, if it's an S Corp, you're going to pay a 20% federal tax rate, capital gain tax rate, and that's it. There's no state tax, so there's no other tax. So on a $10 million business sale, you're going to pay $2 million.
What if I'm an LLC?
If you're an LLC that's not structured as an S Corp, then you're going to pay 23.8% tax. So $2.38 million on a $10 million business sale.
Now I live in, we'll do Georgia.
Okay. So
Georgia. I don't know if you know the state tax there.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to have a lot of these examples come across my desk. So Georgia is actually, they used to have a graduated tax, but in 2024, they went to a flat tax of 5.5% for all income tax, including capital gains. So a business owner in Georgia as an S Corp would pay the 20%, just using the nice round numbers because it is. And then they would, in addition to that, pay 5.5%. So the total tax rate, 25.5, so $2.55 million on a $10 million business sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now to your tax-friendly home state of California.
No, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
What would I pay there?
We can't talk about that. I tried to move to Texas. It didn't happen. So in California, in addition to the 20%, you get the weather. You also get some issues in California as well. I think where everybody's familiar with those. You have an additional, anything over $1 million is 13.3% in addition to the 20. So you're paying 33.3% on a California capital gain for a business sale. So $3.3 million, let's call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A substantial difference.
It is. Right? It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Do you see, when you're doing a transaction, do you see that most companies are an S Corp, or how often are they LLCs or a C Corp or a different entity?
Given the tax benefits of being an S Corp as an operator, I mean, there's some ownership issues that come with being an S Corp, but typically I see S Corps.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do something a little more fun. Let's say I'm exiting a $30 million business, so the value of the business
is more fun.
It is more fun.
10 million is awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, but 30 is better.
All right, so I've got a $30 million business that I'm selling.
And with multiples these days in lawn, 30 million is happening.
It is happening. It's a nice time to be alive in the lawn care business.
Yeah, exactly.
Or pest or any of these. I mean, it's amazing. Even better if you're in plumbing. Like some of these are crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right, or maybe HVAC instead of plumbing. They're all pretty, it's amazing what's happening. All right, $30 million business. I somehow became aware of someone like you that can show me strategies that I would have never known about, never known were even possible. In a perfect world, what could we do from a tax standpoint? I'm coming to you and I'm saying, I'm going to have an exit in about a year. I don't know how much time you need, but let's just make up a year. I'm getting my business ready. I want to do some planning with you. What could we do to that tax bill?
Okay, so $30 million. So assuming that, you are in Texas, because you are, so you're going to, with no strategies, you're going to pay $6 million in taxes. Okay,
on
20%
an S Corp.
On an S Corp, 20% capital gain on the federal level, no state tax.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the sale of the business is planned in a fashion where it's likely to transact at the beginning of the year, for instance, there are tax strategies that have been developed by billionaire quantitative investment managers, because guess what? Those guys don't like paying tax either, and they have a lot of capital gains, or they tend to, okay? So these strategies that are investment related, they really target market beating returns. So it's not just a tax strategy. On a $30 million sale, someone that was paying $6 million, we could potentially, under the right circumstances, get that down to $4 million, $4.5 million. So a substantial decrease, right? Keeping another $1.5 million or $2 million in your pocket.
Go buy you another house somewhere.
Oh, come on. We're not going to spend it. We're going to invest it.
Well, I agree. I like that. That's even better.
Let's invest it.
I like that. Right? Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry I was so foolish with their money.
Yeah, exactly. We could. I mean, it is a $30 million sale, so let's spend it. Yeah. You have to treat yourself after that.
That's right.
Sale,
you need a couple houses.
Because you didn't get there without the hard work.
Right.
And so, but we could take that $2 million and invest it in some interesting debt investments that are currently yielding anywhere from 9 to 12%, right? Which is nice. So you can just see how that compounding.
And then you have $200,000 a year to travel on right there.
Yeah, there you go, right? Where before you would have given that money to our very efficient government, right? Which we know is all not true. So that's the kind of impact that we can have on the tax side under the right circumstances, so people can keep more of what they've earned by building that business brick by brick through all the sweat they've put into it.
So if someone's going to sell, how far out in advance should forget the planning that goes into optimizing the business for sale, but from a strategy standpoint, working with someone like you with the goal of bringing down the tax bill and frankly getting mentally comfortable with how they're going to invest their money so they can then live on it. How far in advance should they be talking with you?
I like to see people a few years in advance, right? Because not only if they have the capital to start to deploy into tax strategies now, they can, and we can do that. But also I do find walking people through scenario and sensitivity analysis on their business sale can also be quite effective, so they can be more comfortable with the decision and also just have an expectation of what to expect post-sale. Because a lot of times, and you know this from all the things that you do in the industry and how you give back and talk to owners, but I think the basic concept of if I sell my business for X and I earn Y return, which by the way, no one knows what that is, what am I going to have left to live off of to support my lifestyle and my family? Right? People just don't know. And they don't know what's available to them in terms of the investments. Right? They throw out these quotes about a percentage here, a percentage there, but putting it all together, I mean, it can be a puzzle for each particular person to make sure they're getting the outcome that they want, okay? And so, a couple of years in advance, I do think is beneficial for someone that's contemplating a business sale.
Great. Last question. What's sensitivity analysis?
It's not acupuncture.
Okay.
Although I could see how it would be thought of that way. A sensitivity analysis is another way to say it would just be a scenario analysis. Okay, so I'll tell you what that is. So someone comes to me, and I just had a situation like this yesterday. Someone comes to me and they think they're going to sell their business, okay? And they say, all right, this is the deal we have on the table. We're going to get 18 times EBITDA for our business. That's what the PE firm is going to pay us, okay?
It's awesome.
That'd be great, right?
Yeah.
It's happening.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I wanted to sell my business.
Yeah, I'm sure you could sell it for that.
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
I've been told I could do that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I still don't want to, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so let's say you have $100 in EBITDA and you're going to sell your business for 18 times EBITDA. It's $1,800, right? In value. But then let's say and so that sounds great, right? But you say, you know what, I want to keep running this business. I think, man, I'm going to get 18 times 3 years from now and I'll grow. So then what is it going to be worth?
Right.
So people have these thoughts and ideas, but as you know, in a lot of financial decisions, people don't actually put pen to paper and model it out. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't at the same time. And so you just have these thoughts going through your mind about what you're going to do and what it's going to look like. So what we do is we actually model it out in Excel, one of my favorite tools. And then we can say, okay, let's say you could sell for $1,800 right now. Let's say you grow for 10%. You grow at 10% over the next 3 years. Now your EBITDA is not 100, it's 133, okay? So now let's say you end up selling it for 10 times EBITDA.
Instead of the 18.
Yeah. Let's say multiples come down because guess what? It's not a prediction, but recessions happen, financial conditions change, and that can lower multiples. Private equity may have a bad experience trying to exit a big lawn business, and then the whole industry steps away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know.
So we don't know. So now instead of 1,800, you're now selling your business for 1,330. Okay. So you took a significant decline in value, which is the most emotional, painful thing that can happen to anyone. Like, you think you have a certain amount of money and you just don't. So that's a substantial decline for actually performing and growing your business. You're left with less money, and then what? Okay,
Yeah.
So running through those scenarios, I think, provides some mental clarity for folks as they're trying to process this decision.
That's awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Sure, absolutely, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
You bet.